The VAR Show. The one place for your weekly football update.
Hola, very warm welcome to the VAR show, the show which talks about all the various major football leagues in detail. Today we are going to continue the theme of interviews, and we have a very influential figure in the English footballing culture in the past decade or maybe even two. I don't know. It was a very long time since he's been involved. So we have the former soft tissue specialist of the English national team and also a major pillar in Sir Alex Ferguson's backroom staff, Mr. Rod Thornley. So for those who do not know Mr. Rod Thornley, so he worked as a soft tissue specialist with the England national team between 2001 and 2014, and he also worked in similar capacity with the Manchester United team between 2000 and 2019. So without wasting much time, I would like to first thank Rod for coming on the show. Thank you, Rod, and welcome to the show. And I would like to begin the interview by asking you, how are you? And what are you doing during this pandemic period?
I'm good. I'm obviously, we're all in isolation back in England, so I'm sat at home, and I've during this period I've had a little turnaround in my job situation, and I've over the past 3 or 4 months started up my own football agency, and I'm just on the phone constantly with players and with management and obviously boardroom people just to try and organise basically getting myself involved in the job. You know, it's new to me, I've not done it, so that's what I've been doing.
So you have been involved in the game for quite a while. You know, it's been like from the year 2000 until now, and you are continuing. So did you ever think of getting into management?
Obviously it has crossed my mind over the years, because you work with so many managers and you see the way they work, and you can pick up like their good points from every single manager, and you think, well, if I put all those together, you could make one hell of a manager, you know. But you have to go down the route of the coach, doing all your coaching badges, which is something I've not done yet. It's something I could do in the future, depending on where I go. But I've thought about it, but not really done anything about it, you know.
So you have been like as a massage therapist at so many big teams like Manchester United, and during the most successful time, like which can probably be unrivaled ever, and also the England national team under so many big managers. So you know, among them, who has been the best to work with, like as a manager?
I mean, it's quite an easy answer for me. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson's the greatest manager that's ever lived in my eyes. And I learned so much from him. His man management was phenomenal. A great coach. But you can also look at the other managers that I've worked under with England and with United. Louis van Gaal had some good ways about him. Sven-Göran Eriksson's calming presence and was brilliant. You know, even Steve McLaren with England, I thought he was a very good coach with England, and I enjoyed working for him. So you can take little bits of every manager that you work with, and there's always some good bits of every manager, you know. When Jose was on good form, Jose was an amazing manager, such a good motivator, you know.
So since you have worked with both the national and the club side, which one do you personally prefer to work with? Like, which is more of a joy for you?
I mean, I really did enjoy going away with the national team. And it's probably because, I mean, you really did get red carpet treatment everywhere you went. It was enjoyable to go away with them. It was hard work, but they knew how to look after you. And the national team it brought some very, very memorable experiences. And when I went to 4 World Cups, starting in 2002 in Seoul, in Korea and Japan, and the national team brought some very, very good memories that I'll cherish and never forget, you know.
So as we already mentioned, that you worked with Sir Alex Ferguson for quite a long time. Like, how was it working with him?
He was a brilliant man manager. Like, it wasn't just the way he worked with his players, the way he worked with his staff. I first met Sir Alex when I came home from school one day when I was about 13 or 14, and he was he was in my front living room trying to sign my brother, because my brother then went and signed and played for the famous Class of '92 team, and it was a surprise, and I'll never forget it. And then from then, obviously, I ended up working for him as well, and he always asked how my family was, and you saw the way he worked around the training ground. It wasn't just me; it was every single member of staff. He would relate to them all in some way or other, and keep everyone like on first name terms, and be really, really good with them all. You know, he was just a fantastic manager around the whole business, never mind just the team.
So let's get into more of your job profile. Could you shed some light as to how important is the role of a massage therapist at a club?
Well, inside a dressing room, there's really two. For me, there was two really important roles, and one was the medical team, and one was the kit department, and they a lot of trust was relied on those people so close to the dressing room, and players would use those people to bounce off all the problems they've got, just to bounce off all their ideas, and it's a huge, when you're one-on-one with a player and it's just the two of you in a room, and obviously they're getting the treatment, but there's a lot of psychology that goes along with it as well, you know, and the well-being of a player is massive for a football team. And if you have the right people around the dressing room, if you have given the same message, the right attitude, it's a huge difference for a dressing room than if you have people around there that are miserable and dour and upset. It affects the team. It really does affect the team. So the more people are buoyant and happy, the better the team is, and that's a definite.
So, you know, like with the pandemic issue going around, there are talks of finishing the Premier League in a month within like a World Cup style competition. Is it as advisable from your point of view to continue with that idea?
So, I think, are we talking, there was 9 games left in the Premier League, wasn't there? Now,
Yeah.
I know for experience of the big teams that they generally play Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, or Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, or whatever. So they play 3 games a week anyway. So this is nothing they can't deal with. And the talk of bringing 5 substitutes in is a help to that. So I think they could turn it around in quick style. Yeah, there's obviously the FA Cup to consider. There's obviously the Champions League and Europa League. But I thought of an idea 6 weeks ago, so when all this was going on, that they could cram the Europa League and Champions League in right at the end of the season, and do that like every single night for 2 or 3 weeks, and have that done as well. But I think UEFA have thought about that decision as well, to do that as well. But I think they can do it, and I know the players can definitely commit to 9 games in a month quite easily, because they've done it before many a time.
So I'll talk about 2 players, okay, who had very contrasting fortunes. Like first is Ryan Giggs, who played on till his late 30s, and he retired on his own terms basically. And then you have Michael Owen, who also started early, but you know he had a lot of multiple major injuries, and maybe even in his later 20s he was struggling around, you know, to play. Like he mentioned, like he in Stoke or at Newcastle he didn't want to play because of his injury. So you have worked with both. What do you think made Ryan Giggs stand apart from maybe Michael Owen or his other colleagues?
See, I know Ryan Giggs. I know Ryan Giggs for a long time, and he was an ultra professional. He did the right things at the right times all the way through his career, and he really was. And you knew he would go on and on because he would do his yoga, he would do his massage, he would do his physiotherapy, he would eat the right foods, he would do everything right, and he was ultra professional. And I'm not saying Michael Owen wasn't, because I know Michael Owen as well, and he was professional. But maybe Michael's was just the body he had and the body type he had. He was pure speed, and it would break down. And I'm not saying that's because he was unprofessional. That just happened, you know, and it happens in football. Some people are unlucky, some people are. Ryan Giggs gave himself every single chance to last as long as he possibly could because of his lifestyle. And he was, and I'm not saying he didn't go and have a drink every now and again, you know, but he did the right things constantly throughout his career.
So I'll ask you a lighter question. Which is your favorite football club in the world?
Well, I'm a Salford boy from the heart of Manchester, so I'm a Manchester United fan and always will be.
Okay, what has been your favorite moment, you know, like working with United? If you had to pick one out of your 19 years career with United, which one would that be?
I mean, there's many funny moments, I'll be honest with you. But the favourite moment was probably the night in Moscow when we won the Champions League in 2008. that was an experience I loved. I mean, I was in Barcelona in '99 as a Man United fan. I went to the new camp that night, but the night in Moscow was brilliant to be part of it.
So also you have been with a lot of big stars of the Premier League and even the world stage. Have you ever been awestruck by any person or a player?
Funnily enough, I don't get starstruck at all, you know, because I've been so used to it from such a young age. When you have the likes of David Beckham staying at my house when I'm like 15, 16 years old, and to you he's a normal person, and he goes on to become this world megastar. You don't really get starstruck, and I've in the past year I've met like the American president, and I just don't get starstruck, you know.
No, that's what I asked you. Like, you have met so many people. Have you ever been starstruck by anyone?
I mean, we've met film stars. Obviously, when you travel with Man United and with England, there's people who want to meet the players, and you go to LA on the pre-season tours, and there's mega stars want to meet the players, and you get to meet them yourself. But you know, you don't. I've never had it. I've never had it because I've just treated them always as normal people.
So on that note, I'll ask you, like, since you have been such a big, you have so much experience in your belt. So do you have any words for any players who are just starting out, and maybe with your advice or tip, they can prolong their career or something?
So if I was to sit down with a group of young lads now that are starting out at any club, I would say head down, work, show your ability on the pitch, but off the pitch, work your hardest. That's the only, because I see so many players over the years come through at Manchester United, and they didn't realise what ability they had and what chance they had in football, and they wasted it away by not working hard and having the wrong attitude. And I think a lot of it is down to attitude and working hard, and it bears its fruit eventually if you put the effort and time in. It really does, and I think work hard is the biggest lesson.
So, you know, like, I just included this question. I'm sorry if you don't want to answer, you can just avoid it. A lot of the ex-pros have just come out and said that Ravel Morrison was the most talented player they have ever seen in comparison to the likes of Pogba. What do you say about him?
So, funnily enough, I saw a clip the other day. I think Wayne Rooney had said it in an interview about Ravel, and I texted Ravel that day and I said, "Is there any chance of me not reading a newspaper story about how good you were and how good you could have been, and you actually starting to play on the pitch and letting everyone see how good you actually are?" Because he was the best I've seen at Man United, definitely. He was in the Jesse Lingard, the Paul Pogba U team, and he was the best player there. He was definitely the best player. You knew Paul had qualities, you knew Jesse had qualities, but Ravel, he was just so good. He was so frustrated with all his teammates because he was that much better than everyone else. But Ravel's Ravel, and he's gone the way he's gone. He's a lovely lad, but I'd love to see him do well. I'd love to see him do well in the game because he deserves to do well because of his ability. He's such a good player, honestly. Or he was such a good player. And wherever he still is, he's yet to find out.
So on that note, I'll ask you one final question, Rod. This is a very, very controversial question. Please think and answer. Yeah. Whom do you prefer, Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
I mean, I love Ronaldo and I love Messi. I have that question all the time, and I can't pick between the two. I really can't.
Still, like, okay, between Ryan Giggs and David Beckham, maybe.
Oh, you can't do this to me because these are my friends you're talking about. You can't actually pick between two friends.
Exactly, that's why I said Messi and Ronaldo, who are a little bit more not your friends compared.
Okay. So on the Messi-Ronaldo one, I think Ronaldo is arguably one of the greatest possibly the greatest goal scorer that's ever been, and for that he might just edge it. But Messi is just such an all-round talent. It's so tight, but it's so difficult to say. So difficult. No, I can't say. I'm not.
Okay, I'll let that one go. Rod. It's fine. Yeah. So Rod, thank you so much for talking to us, and we wish you all the best for your future campaigns and whatever endeavor you are doing. You're starting off the management, and we wish you all the luck and possibly everything you can achieve in that, and hope we can talk in soon. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.